Just gonna press start. It could just record for as long as it wants. I'll cut it and edit it. But it is for a school project. I needed to do a project, but it's also because um, moving forward, because I will have more time. I'm gonna really help Gonzalez get into the program and the structuring part. I think me and her have worked very hard to kind of get where we are right now. So one of the things I want to incorporate, at least this year, and I want to start with you guys, one, because I feel more comfortable, and two, because I know that we can use this level of support in upper grade. So one of the biggest things that I wanted to bring up to you guys was, are you guys familiar with a WIG? It's called a widely important goal. No, so I'm gonna explain to you. I'm gonna be looking at my computer so that I can be like sharing my notes. It's not necessarily a presentation because this is just a group. It's more like a group huddle that we're gonna be doing, and then we're gonna be following up. So a WIG is just a widely important goal, and a goal. It's a goal that matters, and we're looking at the bigger picture. So we're focusing on something that is going to matter later on, but there's things that we have to do in between that. So it's not everything that we want to improve, but it's the biggest impact that we're gonna make. So that's the biggest thing about it. I am gonna refer to the WIG a lot, but what it really is that it's what we're doing to make the biggest impact at the end. So the reason why I related it to your guys' group specifically was because I spoke to Gonzalez and I told her that one of the biggest things that I know you guys are aware too, but one of the biggest things that I think is the biggest challenge in the program, I think across the board, is how we're not aligned, as a department. Yes, we try to really incorporate it, but it's very hard to kind of stay on it. So I think the same thing is happening with our program, where we think we're all aligned, but then we see inconsistency and then there's no sustainability. So in behavior, I'm gonna focus it. Our goal, first of all, our goal is gonna be to achieve 90% consistency in classroom management within just upper grade by the end of the semester. So what I essentially want to do is I want us to be able to plan this goal. So this will be our main goal. This is our bigger picture. This is our WIG. 90% consistency amongst all you three, because you guys are the upper grade staff. So with that, there is things that we need to do. We need a lead measure and we need a lag measure. So I don't have a picture for you guys, but the purpose of the lead and the lag is to kind of measure where we are towards our WIG, our goal. So with that, we need to create a scoreboard. So as you guys know, in sports and everything, there's a scoreboard. That's how people keep track of if they're winning or not. Really, that's the purpose of it. So the scoreboard, I kind of made a presentation, so I'm reading off of it. The scoreboard is just something that is helping us track our progress. So because of that, we need to create our lead measure. So our lead measure will be our actions. What are we doing as a team? And this is what I was trying to talk to you guys yesterday and earlier today. Where are we aligned? And if we all, have an open conversation right now, I know Hector will have his own kind of classroom management way that he sees. Maybelline will have her own, and you will have your own. Yes, at the end of the day, we're working towards, maintaining and following the matrix that expanded learning provides. But are we really being consistent, and in that 90%, are we really following through the same thing? Probably not, right? Because the way me and her lead is probably not the way that other staff are leading at other schools. So this is where we're not aligned. But what I'm going to try to do is, with this WIG goal that we have, is to try to keep at least us three consistent so that we have the same classroom management across the program. So I actually printed out a script that I was talking to you guys earlier, and I just want all of you guys to have it so that you guys better understand where I'm coming on how we're gonna all be the same. So now that we know our WIG, which is achieve 90% consistency in the classroom, all across upper grade, we want to make sure that we all have a clear message to all students, right? We want to make sure that there's rules and there's consequences and all that. So now that you guys know what the scoreboard is what's going to be tracking us. And then the way we're going to get there is by using this script. And the way we're naming it a skirt. It's just because it's the easiest way for you to follow what she's following. So we're going based off anything. So I don't know if you guys want to take like a second or two so that you guys can review it, and then we can like see what you guys picked up from it so that we're all on the same page. So as you guys are reading that, I know I spoke about the scoreboard. So in the scoreboard, we're gonna have the lag and the lead. The lag will be that, what is the result and that we're gonna get out of this? What are we gonna achieve? And then it's also something that we cannot control directly, right? We're not saying that we're gonna work on the lag and then we're gonna accomplish it. No, it's gonna take time. And then for our lead measure, it's what is it that we're doing to get to that goal. So in between all of this and in between all this is just something that you guys are going to stay on, right? So Maybelline moving forward, she's going to refer to her script and be like, okay, have I done these 3 things? But in between these things, we have things that come up. We like to call it the whirlwind. And what that is, it's like, you guys know what a whirlwind is. It just goes chaos, and that's the first thing that comes up to my head is chaos. So because we're in a program that there's a lot of chaos going on in our classroom, so we're not always going to follow through every single step. But I think the point of this is to just stay consistent and to just try to follow through so that at the end of the day, we are still sticking to a plan, and the plan is our goal, which is a 90% consistency. So I know that even though we have a lot of things come up, like you guys are supporting with homework, you guys are doing a lot in the classroom, but what is it that we're going to do as a team to be able to all be aligned? And the reason why earlier I spoke to you about the student that brought up the concern, that's actually true. He actually came and told me, this is just an example, that he felt like Mr. Hector was directing only to the boys and not the girls. So the reason why I use that example is because this is, it ties back perfectly onto why we all need to be aligned, because Ms. Maybelline knows that she has students that want to go to Hector's, but then there's students that want to go to Patty, and there's students in Patty that don't want to be in Patty's. So in order for that not to happen, if we all stay consistent, then there shouldn't really be a difference, or students shouldn't be like, I want to go there, or he's being biased to girls and not to boys. So if we all follow this and we stay consistent, then eventually we're going to be able to just have the kids all understand that no, it doesn't matter where you're at, you still got to follow through expectations. And so I don't know if you guys read through it, but it basically just gives you a breakdown of what to do, first steps, second steps. And I know you guys are already doing a lot of the things, but it is very important with the new goal that we're assigning to you guys that we're able to actually make it a routine. So even though like sometimes I'm busy and I can't talk to the student, I'm even setting a goal for myself and being like, okay, this is exactly what I need to say to every student so that I'm consistent and so that it's not differentiating, so I'm not making any student feel different, and it's just to the point. And that's what I want you guys to put in practice. Do you guys have questions? Is this making sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, with our WIG, we also need to assign each other things to do in order to achieve the bigger picture. So we're going to go ahead and assign myself. I will be observing the classes, and I will be providing additional support. And then I don't know if you guys read the script, but somewhere in the script it says that, you know, after you've already gave, I'm gonna open up mine, after you've already gave, you know, your first, well, first of all, we're all doing expectations at first. That's an expectation for the program, right? I know Ms. Maybelline, you always do as soon as you walk in. But the second one would be redirection. We're reminding the students what is it that you're doing that is not okay, and then moving forward. my job will be to be hosting these meetings where we're gonna be looking at our scoreboard to see if we're achieving, and then your guys' job is to be following the script. That is what you're gonna commit to be able to achieve the goal. And then not only am I going to set myself a goal to be able to come and observe you guys, but then I also, in your script, I also fall into place when you guys have already redirected. I'm the intervention person, so I will intervene when you guys need support. But that comes when the behavior has already escalated. So I just want to make sure that as of right now, we know what our assignments are for each and one of you, and then what is mine, and then when it will come into play when it comes to the student and yourself and the student not listening to you. As a whole group, at the end, I think it's on the next page, I put a whole group redirection. That will be on the same kind of goal, because now this is not referring to one single student, but now this is you referring to the entire class. So I kind of scripted it out, and I put, you know, students, I'm seeing that we need a reminder. Our expectation right now is that you should be transitioning to go to snack. And that's already you reminding them. So that is the way we're gonna move when we're redirecting the class as a whole. But really, to be able to achieve that 90% consistency, we need to make sure that we are doing our part with individuals that need that level of support. And then, yeah, and then the end of our meeting will just kind of conclude on a completion date. So I had put that we will have kind of like a completion date towards the end of the year, because we are a reoccurring program. This is not like we have CPs where we're able to work with them for 12 weeks. So this is reoccurring, and then we see them again in the summer. So it's just really, it's one of our biggest goals that we're gonna work on, but we don't really have a date for you to be able to say, I'm done, I've achieved. I did want you guys to connect every day, and just kind of say like, oh, Patty, have you been like following the script? What has worked, what hasn't? If it's too much, you guys can always, you don't have to go right through the script, but it's just an example of what we're all gonna be doing so that we're all aligned across. I know somewhere in there, Mr. Hector, it says that I want you guys to, okay, so number 4 says reflection and reflection time script. So I wrote this so that when the students are not resetting, then you're also taking something away. And I know this is something that we do. So what I wanted to bring up to you guys, now that we're all gonna stay consistent, is that you guys connect, and you tell Patty, like, this is what I'm gonna do. They're not gonna do this because they didn't follow through. Or if it's a specific student and he's gonna reset, then we're all having the students reset. Because I think what we figured is that, and you guys know this, that if there's a student misbehaving in Patricia's class, they're still playing. And they're still continuing to do everything. So there's no consequences. They don't really reset at that point. Because then they're not really thinking through, because at the end of the day, we're not really putting a stop to it. And I know we always tell you guys this, like, what is it that you guys are doing? So I think what I want is that, although everybody has a different method, you guys for now have to be doing the same thing. Does that make sense? So if a student in Patricia's class, you know, was disrespectful and like was talking back to you, and if you had a student, they were talking back to you, I want to make sure that both of those students, although they're in separate classes, are getting the same consequence. Does that make sense? Do you guys have questions? That's about it. Done. Cut. No, but besides that video, no, this is true. I do want to